Hello and welcome to all the viewers in Nigeria and around the world to meet their news on Global TV. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Edikan Michael. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Nigerian Armed Forces to intensify its campaign against terrorists and kidnappers who are putting the nation on edge. He also warned against practices that undermine national interests, assuring servicemen and women of his administration's commitment to their well-being. The president emphasized the urgency to upscale the fight against insecurity, which he noted has robbed the nation of peace and progress. His commitment followed heightened cases of terrorist attacks and kidnapping for ransom in various parts of the country, especially the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, which has been a hotbed of kidnapping lately. President Bola Tinubu has directed Vice President Kashim Shettima to lead a presidential team to the finals of the African Cup of Nations, AFCON, in Cote d'Ivoire. He also directed maximum support and urged the Eagles to make Nigeria Africa proud. This was disclosed on Saturday in the statement by Stanley Nkocha, Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Communications. The Vice President also represented the President at the semi-finals when the Super Eagles defeated South Africa in a pulsating encounter. The Nigerian national team is set to first host Cote d'Ivoire in a thrilling rematch at Aslins Outer Stadium in Abidjan on Sunday, February 11. The statement noted that the match will rekindle the memories of Nigeria's 1-0 victory in the group stage secured through Captain Williams Ekang's penalty. The military high command says its troops in the last 1 week have arrested 6 suspected violent extremists in the Federal Capital Territory. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, stated this while addressing newsmen on the activities of troops across the country. According to him, troops across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country have remained undeterred by prevailing circumstances as they continue to exhibit remarkable determination and sacrifice in pursuit of this noble goal. Kikelomo Okere has more details.
Addressing newsmen amidst recent security upheavals nationwide, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says the armed force overarching objective remains the restoration of peace and security and ensuring citizens can enjoy a life free from fear and uncertainty. According to him, the armed forces have continued to deal significant blow on terrorists with significant successes recorded. He explained that troops of Operation Will Punch raided extremist enclave in the FCT and arrested a notorious criminal, Badimosi Mohammed, and 6 others with 2 kidnapped victims rescued in Kuje and Gwagwalada Area Council.
Operation Wild Punch recorded the following during the week. The troops arrested suspected insurgents in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State, as well as Gwagwalada and Kuje local government areas of the FCT. Troops arrested suspected kidnappers in Kuje and Gwagwalada local government areas of the FCT. They conducted raid in Lafia local government area, as well as Kagarko and Chikum local government areas of Kaduna State. Troops foiled a kidnap incident in Abuja Municipal Area Council of the FCT and Munya local government area of Niger State. Overall, troops of Operation Wild Punch arrested 11 violent extremists and rescued 2 kidnapped hostages. Troops also recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 assault rifle, among other items.
General Buba further stated that troops in their various theaters of operation across the country also neutralized 266 violent extremists and arrested 463 of them, while 116 kidnapped hostages were rescued.
In the month of January, troops recorded the following. We neutralized 266 terrorists. We arrested 463 of them, and we rescued 116 kidnapped hostages. We also recovered 447 assorted weapons and over 6,690 assorted ammunition. We denied the oil theft of close to 3 billion naira just in the month of January.
The The director, while commending the troops for their dedication and sacrifices, tasked Nigerians to continue to provide prompt and credible information to security agencies to help win the war against insecurity. However, a minute silence was observed in honor of security agents who paid the supreme price for their fatherland.
The House of Representatives has passed the Electoral Act 2022 Amendment Bill for second reading, brightening the prospect for electronic transmission of election results to minimize fraud in the nation's electoral process. The bill seeks to amend selected sections of the current Electoral Act to provide for the re-registration of voters same-day elections, electronic transmission of results, as well as punishment for frivolous election petitions. Debating the general principles of the bill, Francis Wave lamented the gaps in the current Electoral Act 2022, noting that an amendment of the law to pave the way for the electronic transmission of election results will help the nation's democracy. Similarly, the House of Representatives has resolved to probe alleged certificate racketeering by a Nigerian student in collusion with some officials of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, MDS. This followed the adoption of a motion by Abubakar Fulata, APC Jigawa, at the plenary in Abuja. Adopting the motion, the House condemned in its entirety the act of certificate racketeering by a Nigerian student in collusion with some MDS. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Daju Kajum, says the National Health Insurance Authority will enroll all Nigerians, including cancer patients, into the health insurance scheme. Speaking at a symposium organized by the ministry in collaboration with the National Institute for Cancer Research and Treatment, NICRAT, Kechulum noted that the prevalence of cancer is rising at an alarming rate. The federal government, she said, remained deeply committed to the fight against the disease and has recorded significant strides. She said, it is estimated that over 124,000 new cases of cancer were recorded in Nigeria in the year 2020, which resulted in 78,899 deaths. The Director General of the Institute, Professor Usman Aliyu, stated that the theme of this year's World Cancer Day, Close the Care Gaps, operationalizing the National Strategic Cancer Control Plan, underscores the urgent need to bridge the disparities in cancer care and treatment. The police command in Kano State has assured its readiness to provide security for Monday's official visit by the First Lady Olorimi Tinubu. The police commissioner in the state, Usani Gumo, gave the assurance to the news agency of Nigeria via telephone. He said security personnel deployed were on red alert and ready to boost the existing security effort to ensure a seamless visit to Kano. Gumo said that an effective operational order on how to provide security at each of the places that the First Lady was expected to visit had since been issued to the officers deployed for that purpose. The Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, has urged the President Bola Tinubu-led administration to declare a state of emergency on security. A Christian organization lamented the lingering banditry and kidnappings ravaging the nation. He said, President, indeed, you are seasoned politicians and you know Nigeria like a man knows the back of his hand. Nigerians are in pain. The blood of innocent people is everywhere. In Plateau State, in Benue State, in Kaduna State, in Ekiti State, and everywhere. Mr. President, please declare a state of emergency on its insecurity in Nigeria and use your executive power as the commander-in-chief to compel Nigerian forces to crush insecurity and create a safe Nigeria that is peaceful, he added. I want to assure you of the firm cooperation of over 65 million Pentecostals in Nigeria who will cooperate with you, pray for you, and give you the necessary information that will make you a success. The Minister of Defense, Alhaji Mohammed Badru, says Nigeria is committed to regional security cooperation with other economic community of West African states, ECOWAS countries. This is contained in a statement made in Abuja by Enshaw Agubike, Director of Information and Public Relations of the Ministry of Information. Badru said these at the opening of the extraordinary session of the Mediation and Security Council of ECOWAS at the ministerial level in Abuja, emphasized the importance of collective actions in addressing regional security challenges. He underscored the importance of the extraordinary session, noting that the event was to deliberate on pressing security matters affecting the region. Operatives of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command attached to the Rapid Response Squad 74 have arrested a pastor Simon Kadu, his relative Jesse Simon Kadu, and their driver Mohammed Issa for child trafficking. They were busted in Friday while trafficking 12 underage children, 8 girls and 4 boys, aged between 5 to 16 years from Nasarawa State to Ogun State. Preliminary investigation revealed that the children, whose age are between 5 years to 16 years, all from Agwange Local Government Area, Nasarawa State, were being trafficked to Ogun State by one Pastor Simon Kadu Mel and Jesse Simon Kadu Mel, who are now presently in the police custody. while the investigation is still ongoing, an effort in conduct with Nasarawa State Police Command on how to reunite victims with their respective families. The Commissioner of Police, FCT, Bennett Igwe, wishes to reiterate that safety of residents remains his utmost priority. You're watching the Midday News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, with Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles and shown on your screen. And when the Midday News returns, aviation fuel surges to 1,300 naira as operators consider upward review of air fares. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of the Midday News. Many thanks for still staying with us. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected Hamas' proposed ceasefire terms, saying total victory in Gaza is possible within months. He was speaking after Hamas laid out a series of demands in response to an Israel-backed ceasefire proposal. Netanyahu said negotiations with the group were not going anywhere and described the terms as bizarre. Israel was expected to take issues with Hamas' counter-offer, but his response is a categorically rebuke, and Israeli officials clearly see an effort by Hamas to end the war on its terms as utterly unacceptable. As the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken travels across the Middle East to broker a deal between Palestinians and Israelis with the help of the major players in the region, Palestinians' envoy to Nigeria, Abdullah bin, has accused the U.S. of double standards in its role as mediator and pushed for a two-state solution. Speaking in Abuja, the ambassador also condemned Israel's continuous seizure of Palestinian phones and action, he said, has resulted in Palestinians' inability to pay salaries and cover costs associated with diplomatic operations. Global Television's correspondent Anthony Mamadou brings us more details.
Despite effort made by Secretary Blinken across the Middle East in search of a peace deal to end the Hamas-Israel conflict, Ambassador Abdullah bin al-Shawesh says the United States is favoring the Israelis and in alignment with the Israelis.
On the two-state solution, while the U.S. Secretary of State Antonio Blinken asked his department official to conduct a review and present political option regarding possible U.S. and international recognition of the Palestinian state after the war in Gaza.
He said the international community was also complicit in the suffering inflicted on Gazans with the suspension of aid and donations to the United Nations Refugees Workers Agency.
By suspending financial assistance to the UNRWA, the donor countries are by default completing the Israeli genocidal mission that the court prohibited. After 4 months of the textbook genocide conducted by Israel, supported politically and militarily by many Western countries, and after zero accomplishment of this Rennes war declared goal, those countries have become assured that this war is just to save the political skins of the Prime Minister and his coalition.
Abdullah blamed Israel's refusal to release Palestinian funding for the inability of the Palestinian government to meet a wide range of obligations, and domestic and foreign.
During the delivery of appropriate humanitarian aid to the Gazans, the Israeli man-made of financial crisis by refusing to transfer our clearance fund for the third month in a row has deeply affected our ability to pay the monthly salaries and the government daily running costs. This has set back all macroeconomic measurement and microeconomic activities, pushing more Palestinian families below the poverty line and causing the unemployment rate to skyrocket.
The Palestinian envoy to Nigeria expressed hope that the international community can only support and show empathy to the Palestinian people by resuming funding, recognizing a Palestinian sovereignty, and pushing for the two-state solution. Anthony Momodu reporting for Global Television News.
And now a quick look at business. Airline operators have hinted that they may be forced to review fares upward as aviation fuel surges to above 1,300 naira. This was made known in a statement by the spokesman of local airlines, Obiara Okonkwo, who called for immediate government intervention to prevent the collapse of local airlines. The airline said that the volatilities in foreign exchange rate and the soaring cost of aviation fuel at 1,300 per litre had disrupted operational planning and stability within the aviation sector. The Central Bank of Nigeria on June 14, 2023 unified the different segments of the forex market, causing the naira to depreciate significantly at both the official and the autonomous markets. The airline operators of Nigeria have expressed deep concern regarding the escalating cost of operations amidst the surge in aviation fuel prices to 1,300 naira. This was disclosed in a statement by the spokesman of the airline operators of Nigeria, Obiara Okonkwo, who also chairs United Nigeria Airlines, explained that the unforeseen increase in aviation fuel prices from 700 naira per litre and the rise in the exchange rate to 1,400 per dollar have resulted in significant losses for airlines. Passengers who purchased tickets well in advance under previous rates are now being lifted at the current higher costs for that impacting the airline's loss in the revenue stream, he claimed. Following the recent directive by the Central Bank of Nigeria restricting the operations of international money transfer operators to only inbound transfer, IMTOs have decided to halt dollar transfer to Nigerians. The IMTOs said they will now only pay in naira in the recently published document addressed to IMTOs on January 31st. CBN ordered the operators not to facilitate money transfers from Nigeria to other countries. The Apex Bank described the new directive as a move to liberalize the foreign exchange market and ensure transparency. The World Bank has pledged increased financial support to Nigeria, lauding the economic reforms of the past 8 months of President Bola Tinubu administration. The bank's managing director of operations, Anne Bridgens, conveyed the bank's commitment during a courtesy visit to the president at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Uji has more details.
Addressing journalists after the visit, Shade described the Nigeria-World Bank partnership as comprehensive and very fruitful, expressing a commitment to further engage on critical aspects of the country's development agenda. The World Bank chief also expressed confidence that the bank would grow its current programs with the Nigerian government.
It's really important and quite encouraging to see all the important reform steps that are being taken in the country. And the partnership between Nigeria and the World Bank is very, very comprehensive and very fruitful. And we're here to make sure that we can continue to be very supportive as these reforms are being implemented and putting the economy on a path towards recovery. And that's what we really want to do. The World Bank will be continuing very much to support the reforms through various instruments that we have. And we will be actually stepping up our financial support to Nigeria in light of all the different initiatives that are being taken and all the needs that the economy has.
On his part, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wole Edun, highlighted the outcomes of the 2-day meeting of the Western and Central Africa Ministers of Finance co-hosted by Nigeria and the World Bank. Edun said issues of development and concessional financing for the West and Central Africa topped the agenda of the summit.
It was a mini summit of West and Central African finance ministers with the World Bank group. And of course, issues of development, issues of concessionary financing and increasing the level of concessionary financing to West and Central Africa in this particular case, well, what was on the agenda. And we reported to Mr. President that we had a very robust discussion and the emphasis was laid on increasing, as we have just heard from the Managing Director Operations of the World Bank, emphasis was on increasing resources to Nigeria, to West and Central Africa, and also improving electricity access, growing the social safety net, providing greater support for digitization and technological development of our economies, and ultimately to assist in our search for solutions to the issue of development and leading our various countries out of poverty.
Emphasis had been laid on increasing resources to Nigeria, West and Central Africa, as well as to improve electricity access, growing the social safety nets, providing greater support for digitization and technology development of the economies, and to assist in the search for solutions to the issue of development and leading more people out of poverty. Uyi Agbomofwegbe, reporting for Global Television News.
Nigerian Women for Agriculture Progress has said that the most verified women farmers are yet to receive the 15 trillion naira intervention in the agricultural sector that was promised since 1999. The farmers claim few women who received them were portfolio farmers with no farmland. The national coordinator of the group, Omalara Suizon, while speaking at the Women in Agriculture and Agribusiness Convention in Abuja, lamented that many women farmers collected loans to buy farms input and most of them were unable to pay them back. She urged the government to look into why many interventions given to their male counterpart have not yielded much, saying government interventions kept increasing every year, but food production kept declining. The Central Bank of Nigeria, in its recently revised consumer protection framework, has mandated financial service providers to comply with minimum standards in their advertising and promotional materials. One of the requirements is that FSPs should not make reference to unaudited financial statements in their sales promotion. Other requirements include disclosing contact details and its regulatory authority, disclosing cost of products including all fees and other associated charges, the nature and values of benefit where an advertisement refers to or is linked to other valuing benefit, and avoiding mentioning their names or making comparisons with competitors. And that's it on Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're in Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Edikan Michael. Many thanks for watching. See you again.